Hi guys, as in the last lecture we discussed the if, else, elif, boolean logic. Today we will see the for loop and while loop. Let's assume we come under a condition such that we have to do a set of tasks for repeated number of times again and again. So this type of function is called as loops. So basically there are two types of loops. First is for loop, second is while. So we will see this in detail in our today's lecture. So let's take an example of printing value from 1 to 10. So let's comment this out and then create a for loop for I. It will be a random variable. You can also name anything. So let's keep it as I in range. So we have to specify the range from 0 to, as we have to stop at 10, we will put 11. So basically what does for range does? Range creates an number line type structure and starts from 0 to 10. Means it stops at n minus 1. So for I in range, then colon, indentation, and then print I. Let's now execute this. So it has printed 0, 1, 2, 3. Let's create this. Let's make this big. And now it has printed 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 up to 10. So what is range? So range creates an number line type structure from the first index, which is 0, 0, 1, 2, and so on up to n minus 1, where n is the second number. So n minus 1, 11 minus 1, 11 minus 1, which will give us 10. So it will create 0 to 10, and in which for each value I will be assigned. Means I first, in the first loop I will be equal to 0, in second I will be equal to 1, in third I will be equal to 2, 3, 4, and such that. So we can define any range. So let's take this from 1 to 6. So let us consider from 1 to 6, means it will range from 1 to 5. 0 will not be included. So let's run this. We'll get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If we make this 60, then we will get 59. Last output will be 69, as n minus 1 means 60 minus 1 will be 59. So we can also start from 10 and then execute this. So we got starting from 10 to 59. So let's make this 60 and then run. So we got this. Let's make this 60 and add 1. So change this as 100 from 0 and then run. So it will give 1 to 100 number, 0 to 100. As we have used 0 in the first place, it will start from 0 to 100, as we have performed 100 plus 1 means 101. Let's change this to 10, and then we can also give a third number, which will be the number of amount to be skipped after one number. So let's execute this. So it will return 10, 20, 30, 40 up to 100. So what does this third number does? So it sets an interval of some numbers, so after which we have to take another number. So at first it took 10, and then this interval means 10 plus 10 become 20, and then it took 20. So now this range function will create 10, 20, 30, 40 up to 100. Why? Because we have set an interval of 10 between two successive numbers. So if we minus 20 minus 10, we get a 10. So if we minus any consecutive terms, we get a 10. So we can also print all even numbers using 0 to 50. Let's consider 50 plus 1 as we need 50 also, and then given interval of 2 and then print. So we got here the even number series 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. If we take 3, then we will get 3 stable 0, 3, 9 up to 48. So if we don't write anything, it will be considered as 1. So it will type 1 to 0 to 50. So let's change this to 3 and print from 1. Now we will get, so let us change this to 1 and then type here 2. So now we will get an odd number series 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. As we have took the first number as 1, here we got 1 as the first number. So range function works like this. So this is the first number from which it will start. This is the number up to which n minus 1. This is n and minus 1 up to which the range will execute, and this is an interval which can be used between any two successive numbers. So let's print the table of 2. So let's take 1, then comma, up to 21. So let's print. So we can format the text in the strings. So let's print table of 2 as, let's take this, into this equal to this dot format, then bracket, and then give the first argument as 2, then I, then 2 into I, and then execute it. So it will return the table of 2. So as we have taken up to 21, it has gave the table up to 20. Let's change this to 11 and then see the table up to 10. So what is this text called? So this is the formatting of string. So what does this dot format does? This is an method which we will learn in our further sessions. So this is a method so which inserts value real time in the strings. So for the first bracket we inserted 2. So we can see here 2 is inserted for every first bracket. And then this is a string. This basically is a string, but we can change its value in real time. We can change only the value between these braces. So for the first braces we assigned the value of 2. So we wrote 2 into 1. So for the second bracket we assigned the value of I. So from while I ranges 1 to 11, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then in the third bracket we assigned the value of 2 into I, means 2 ones are 2, 2 twos are 4, 2 threes are 6, 2 fours are 8. So this is an formatting of string. So we can format the string in our real time using various values and this curly braces and a method called dot format. We can use numerous of these curly braces and insert numerous datas into a string, but we have to specify the order of the data in correct manner. So if we change this to 2 into I, 2 into I, and this to 2 comma I, so what will this does? The first bracket will be assigned as 2 into I. Let's execute it. So we got here 2, 4, 6, 8, the answer of this value as 2 into I, and then 2 and then 1. So we have to always see the order correctly. So here we can also use a name such as, let's type here main multiple and here answer. So we can now use answer equal to 2 into I, comma, main equal to 2, comma, multiple equal to I. So if we now run, it will again give us same format, but we have changed the order of this in random format. So what it does, this does, it will assign main. So as we use in the variables, we created a temporary variable called as main and assign it the value of 2, and for the variable answer we assign the value of 2 into I, and for the multiple we assign the value of I. So in random way we can use this for numerous such insertion of real time value. We can use names and then assign it to value, so it will not give an error in the orders. So this is a format method which can be used on string. So similarly, as we used for loop, we can also use a while loop. So let's comment this and then create a while loop. So while, we have to specify a condition as I should be less than 10. Let's consider 11, and if this condition remains true, so first we have to assign a value to the variable I equal to 0. So first we have to create a variable, then this is an condition which while will check, and the task is to print the same text. Control V, and then we have to increment I by 1 for each time. I equal to I plus 1. So we can also use a in place operator as we discussed in earlier lectures, and now if we run this, this will also return us the same code, but as we have taken here the 0, it takes 2 into 0. So let's change it to 1 and then 2. So what does this does? First I is assigned the value as 1. So while we'll check the condition, is I less than 11? So when is less than 11? So this condition becomes true and goes to this print statement. Then you know this working of this format, and then it goes to next line and increments I by 1. Here what does it happens? I is equal to I plus 1. Means first it was 1, so it became 2. Again this condition is checked for 2. Then while 2 is less than 11, again it will print this, and this loop will go on until I is equal to 11. So when here I becomes 10, I incremented by 1, and it goes again for the checking. As 11 is less than 11, this statement becomes false and this while loop is exited. So this is the loops. So we can use for loop as well as while loop. So what is difference between these both loops? So for loop can be defined when we know the number of steps we have to loop the task, means we have to repeat the task, and we use while when we don't know the number of steps we have to repeat. Until this condition is true, while will execute, but in for it will range up to some fixed step. So we have to specify some fixed number until which this task will execute. Here until this condition is true we can perform this. So if we take true, if we take a condition as true, then it will run infinity. So see, you can see that while loop is never ending. This is occurring because we haven't specified the condition when to stop, so it will continue going on. So let's quit this. So my laptop got hanged due to this true condition. So let's change it until I is less than 100. So if we will run this, we will get specific until 100 is reached. So this is while loop. So as we saw that until and unless this condition is true, it will run continuously. So it is an infinite loop, as we have not mentioned any specific condition where to stop. So we have to run this loop until I is less than 0. If I becomes greater than 0, then this loop will stop. But in previous condition, so we assigned the condition to be true and never wrote a condition where it should stop. So it continued infinitely. So that was an infinite loop. So this is basically the for and while loop. So in these loops we have some special kind of statements which can be used. So let's take a for loop and then for I in range 0 to 100. Now we have to print I. So let's give an condition. So assume that we got a condition that if I becomes equal to 50, then we have to exit this loop. So we can exit this loop if I equal to 50, then we can break. So break is a special keyword which uses to exit, which is used to exit a loop. So it can be a for loop, it can be a while loop. So what does this statement does? It exits this loop. So let's see first the execution. So we have to print something to get an output. So let's print I and see, you can see that it started from 0 and ended at 50. So sometimes we come across such conditions where the for loop is going on. We have to stop between some specific condition where we made some error or something. So we can use this break statement to exit the loop without completing the complete loop. So there is something also called as continue. It is also a special keyword. So let's take an example of printing odd or even numbers. So let's take condition if I modulus 2 is not equal to 0, means I modulus 2 is basically reminder when any number is divided by 2. So if it is not equal to 0, means that number should be odd, because even number if divided by 2 returns 0, as no reminder is found when even number is divided by 2. So to print odd numbers, now we specified this condition. So as we specified this condition, so for all these so as this becomes true, so we have to type here continue. So what will this continue do? Let's first execute it and then see the working of this. So you can see that only even numbers are being printed. So why does this happen? So continue basically does not quit the loop, but it skips the execution of next all statement written in the loop. Let's print I plus 1 and let's print I minus 1. So here we can get three numbers basically. 0, which was first 0 plus 1, 1, 0 minus 1, 1. So we can get 3. So after 2, 2 plus 1 is 3 and 2 minus 1 is 1. So what does here happens, as we saw in the last, as we saw here, that only even number are printed. But why? Because this basically continue skips this task and then again goes to the for loop. So what does here happens, if I mod 2 means remainder is not equal to 0, means it is an odd number, it will not perform this execution and then directly go for the next time. So that is the basically working of break and continue. We can use break and continue to exit and skip respectively the for loops or while loops. We can also use this in while loops. So that's all for this session. Let's meet in our next video.